Salil, you need no introduction. So, Salil is the person for India's digitalization. And since Swati has not put up the slide, so I'm going to just say two lines about him. Everybody in this country knows Salil. They know how Salil has actually helped people to transform digitally. So, digitization to digitalization to digital transformation. So, Salil, it's your it's your field now. Please tell us what do you take away from H2H marketing in terms of how do you build the third pillar, digitalization.
Thank you, Gauri. Thank you very much for the very warm words of introduction. And I'm going to be filling very big shoes of Pranav and Prashant. So I just want to spend a few minutes talking on the third pillar, which is digitalization. But I think one most important thing I want to start off with is by saying that human to human marketing or human to human relationships entirely is based on trust. And I think trust is one of the major factors where the healthcare industry is essentially getting into trouble, largely because we have started to be perceived as an industry that is placing people over profit. So if you see the 2019 survey that was done by Gallup in the US, the pharmaceutical industry actually ranks right at the bottom of of the of all the industries. And this is, mind you, a market where the industry advertises almost as much as Coke or Pepsi. So it's not an industry where there is no customer connect, or there's no patient connect, or no human connect. So despite that level of advertising and reaching out, somewhere the human centeredness has not really hit well with people over there, despite the fact that the pharmaceutical industry is very much important, or very responsible for doing great things like increasing the life expectancy of human beings. So somewhere in the 20s, about 100 years ago, people lived to a measly age of about 20 years. And from then on, 100 years later, we've increased that life expectancy to about 70 years, added 50 years to the lives of human beings. I don't think that's a small achievement by any standard. So despite that, why is pharma, or why is the healthcare industry considered so low in terms of trust? I think that's because we have a feeling that we put people before, I mean, profit before people. And I think that is one of the most important things that we have to take over. uh, One, why that is important is, oops, right. So I think it's important for us in the industry to really think about how we can move away from fighting over products, over brands in a hyper commoditized, hyper generic industry, where we are fighting in creating deep red oceans. By product centricity, we are actually not really allowing or unlocking value that can happen when you start to think about engaging customers, or engaging, or providing them a great experience. Now, I am using the word customer, and I'm quite acutely aware of the fact that Pranav said that customer is a human is better than said than a customer. So I think the takeaway that I would like our colleagues to have is that if you are able to move away from product centricity to human centricity, I think there is a huge amount of value that can be unlocked. We don't really have to worry about where the next growth is going to come from, where the next orbit of business is going to come from. So that, I think, is a very, very important concept that got covered in the H2H marketing as well. So I think that's one of the reasons. I think companies around the world have understood this. It's just for pharma and some of the others, the healthcare companies, to realize this, that 89%, 90% of companies across industries, this is a Gartner report of 2015 that said that 90% of companies will compete on customer experience through digitalization. I think there are three important shifts that pharma should specifically be aware of. One is that customer experience or human experience is a competitive advantage. I think we should start looking at it that way. I know we are too caught up in the product centricity because our incentives are perverse. We get our bonuses on the sales that we do, on the number of units that we sell. But moving that to thinking about the customer, thinking about human, making it a human centered approach, I think is a very, very strong differentiator that one can create. And I think it's going to be a significant competitive advantage for companies that will do this. I think one of the best ways to do this is to create to use technology, because technology unleashes an amount of resource liberalization. It liberates a lot of resources, and from that perspective, you will be able to serve at scale. No company is going to make it to the top 10 or top 15 if you continue to do the same things that you're doing today. If there has to be scale, there has to be an outreach, there has to be a market expansion at an exponential level. And so from that perspective, I think technology is a platform that needs to be adopted very, very seriously. And bringing in that human centeredness really works on ecosystems, not just products. Individual products and portfolios are great, but unless we create an ecosystem which digital or technology allows us to do, it's going to be very, very difficult for us to actually bring out the human centeredness in our approach. I think this is, it's a very opportune moment for this book to come, and it's excellent that we've started to talk about human centeredness, because if you look at the changes in human behavior, the pandemic has actually accelerated it. Okay, and acceleration of the pandemic is in such a way that people are actually starting to think about do-it-yourself healthcare. They're starting to become participative. They're thinking about healthcare in a way that they never thought about before. Despite the fact that physical proximities are limited, chances of going out of your house is limited, you're still in a lockdown. Healthcare nothing has really changed, right? So healthcare has now come home. And this has happened through a dematerialization of goods and services into software and apps. We are living in a world of digital healthcare. We're starting to think about the future as how you can use app related things, wearables, sensors, data, going around, etc. So and this, I think, is an opportune moment for the industry to think about scaling, because in the physical world, it would mean prime real estate, it would mean building brick and mortar stores, which would probably, and the turnaround time would probably be a few years. Today you can do this in weeks or in days if you've got it right. Dematerializing goods and services into software and apps is really something that we should consider as one of our business models. Healthcare is digital is probably an understatement. I think everyone knows that people are now connected through different ways. People are extremely participative in their healthcare, like I said, and the role of Solomo, or social, local, and mobile phones, is extremely high. People are depending on social networks to seek out local providers, and local providers all over their mobile phones. It's so easy. With the tap of a button, with the tap of a screen, you are able to find some of the best doctors in areas around you, some of the best healthcare providers in the areas around you, and read their reviews online, find out whether those are the right people you can go through your social networks, and so on and so forth. So the Solomo concept is actually working extremely well in making healthcare connected, and in keeping people aware of how to consume healthcare in a digital world. I think the human to human concept with all of this is going to be phenomenal, largely because as the digitization of service providing, or the dematerialization of service providing, starts to increase the bandwidth of humans will have a lot of more time on their hand to be just that, humans. So the kind of jobs like health coaches, genetic counselors, patient concierges, chaperoning a patient from discovery to delivery is going to be easier for people to do, because most of the heavy lifting is going to be transferred to technology. As technology starts to do repetitive work of nurses, of doctors, and so on and so forth, those people who are especially trained in human centeredness will start to see different kind of opportunities approach, and therefore that improves the human centeredness. It improves the experience of people, and it makes healthcare not something to be afraid of. It makes healthcare something that you can go through without really having to worry about the pain. I think it is the same will, going into the future, we are starting to see machines, we are starting to see emotional artificial intelligence. Today, Alexa or any of these home devices can actually detect emotion in your voice. They can understand how to respond to you. They bring emotion into the kind of messages that you hear. You don't hear a dull metallic voice that you used to hear earlier. You're actually not sure whether you're talking to a human or a machine. Okay, and that level is just going to increase. This is still not very clear now. It's not it's not come to a level of expertise at this point of time. But going forward, I think this is how technology is going to progress. And when this sort of technology progresses, machines also are likely to become human centered. And I think that's something that's something we should remember. I think the future is more or less singular, where you'll start to forget where humans ended and machines began. And I think that's where one of the quotes in the H2H book, started to appeal very well to me, because this is about how you can get human beings, how you can put humans at the center. Prashant spoke about this brilliantly a few minutes ago. And it's all about credibility, honesty, integrity, and empathy. Those are emotions. And it'll be a great day for us if we start to see machines also do this. Bring in that emotion, relate to human beings like humans, imbibe the values that makes humans so special, and helps us to sit at the top of the food chain. So I would like to propose that the future is probably just not human to human. It's going to be human to machine. So thank you very much for your patient listening, and I will hand over back to Gauri.